Hey readers, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again today. We're going to continue for a couple more days with our story, our tall tale on Paul Bunyan. Remember that a tall tale is part of folk tales. So we talked a lot about what those characteristics are on Monday, hopefully on Monday, if that's when you did your assignment. Today, this is where we left off the last time. Today we're going to read a new section of the story, and we're going to focus on just that section and really think about how important details help us figure out what the central message is, or the big idea that the storyteller or the narrator in the story wants you, the listener or the reader, to learn. Okay, so we're going to start and we're going to read the section called The Year of the Two Winters. Let me show you just a little bit of a picture walk. It's about 6 pages. Okay, so thinking about the central message, the big idea, and only of this section that we're reading today, not combining everything together, but just about the year of the two winters. All right, we want to make sure that we're paying attention to those details. And what do they tell us? How do they help us understand things like the bigger picture, maybe even in the world? What's the storyteller or the narrator wanting you to learn overall? All right, so this is called the tale, or the year of the two winters. It was always cold in the winter. The lumberjacks were used to that. But one year was much colder than the rest. Maybe Paul should have seen it coming. The leaves that fall didn't turn red or yellow. They turned dark blue from the cold. Once the snow started falling, it just wouldn't quit. At first, the lumberjacks cut new paths through the fresh snow every day. But after a while, they let the snow pile up and dug tunnels under it instead. Okay, so if you look at this picture, you can see a chimney right here. You can see like holes that they're digging, paths. Here's the roof of something and another chimney. After a month, the snow got so deep, Paul had to dig down just to find the treetops. So right here, you can see the tops of the trees sticking out. So think about everything that's underneath that big, thick layer of snow. Looking back, they called it the year of the two winters. By January, the icicles had reached the ground and started to take root. Shadows froze against walls and couldn't get loose. Lucy the cow's milk turned to ice cream before it hit the pail. And lighting fires was no good because the flames froze solid. They were pretty to look at, but weren't worth a lick for warmth. Okay, so you can see how right here, icicles, right, are falling down and they're reaching the ground and they start to take root. So they actually look like trees, don't they? Here's a shadow that's frozen against the wall. You can see he's trying to pull that shadow. It's not coming loose, right? We don't see Lucy's milk, but we do see the frozen flames. That does not look like a warm fire, does it? So definitely a lot of snow, very cold, very exaggerated details. Okay, but think, what is the narrator trying to help you understand or learn about what's happening? Of course, things weren't all bad. It was so cold, even the bed bugs huddled together to keep warm. Scooping them up was quick and easy, so the lumberjacks had clean sheets for once. Nobody got any work done because keeping warm was pretty much a full-time job. The lumberjacks let their beards grow and grow and grow. They wrapped them around like scarves. So you can see that their beards are getting really long, but notice his is wrapped around his neck like a scarf. Okay, and here's the bed bugs that they're scooping up. Think about what these lumberjacks are having to do. This is a different time for them. Even the snowmen needed more clothes than usual. When spring came, Paul cut everyone's beard. The whiskers were stacked up and later stuffed into mattresses. The cracking of the ice went on for weeks. The only people who got any sleep wore 3 pairs of earmuffs to bed. But nobody complained. They were just glad things were back to normal. Okay, so thinking about what would be the central message. What are they trying to tell us and have you learn about this time, right, when it was so cold and so snowy? What do you learn about these lumberjacks, about Paul Bunyan, about the situation? Okay, they're still obviously explaining some really exaggerated details, right? The snowman's super bundled up. Their beards are so long, they turn them into scarves. So you have to be thinking about that. I'm going to answer some questions today, thinking about the central message. And then tomorrow, we're going to finish the story of Paul Bunyan.